Hi guys, it's Record of the Week once again. This week I have 3 pieces of music again and they're all on YouTube, so if you click the links in the description box below you'll find all of these wonderful recordings. I'm going to start off by being extremely obvious and picking an obvious choice, but it's a track that I've never heard before. It's by Hermeto Pascoal and it's called Talvez, and it's Jonas playing bass and John McLaughlin playing nylon string guitar, the Wexter guitar I think. John McLaughlin plays the beautiful chords to this tune and it just sounds wonderful with the plectrum on the nylon string guitar. And of course you've got Jonas playing this lovely bass and sort of again mixing and interweaving with it. And it's just audio, so you're just listening to the audio, you're not seeing anything visual, which really helps because it makes you listen a lot more and really appreciate the beauty of it. Absolutely wonderful playing, beautiful solo playing by John McLaughlin, lovely rhythms, double timing, beautiful sound. But the way they bring the composition together, just the two of them, it's just wonderful. And I'd never heard this version before with the two of them. I've seen the John McLaughlin and Jonas live in Germany, but that's about it. But this one is truly beautiful. And it's not just because I'm a John McLaughlin fan, it's just that it's wonderful to listen to. You know, it's like really melodic and rich in harmony. And just being the two of them and then looking at the lead sheet on YouTube and hearing the music as it's being played, sort of life breathed into this music of the song, the notation, is absolutely wonderful. And they really do it justice. So that's my first choice. And it's an obvious choice, but if you hear it, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. It's really, really well done. It's beautiful playing. My second choice, everybody will probably dislike immensely, but it's by my friend here, this gentleman, Arnold Schoenberg, my favourite person in music ever. So it's a great work. It's Opus 25 and it's for piano, solo piano. Okay, this suite for piano is performed by my favourite pianist at the moment, Yuja. Again, I'd never heard her play Schoenberg. I know she talks about it a lot and there's lots of videos on YouTube, but I've never seen her actually play Schoenberg. And I saw it this morning, oddly enough, and I was just looking down the side of YouTube, scrolling through, and it just said Yuja plays Schoenberg, Opus 25, Piano Suite. And I was like, whoa. Anyway, I listened to this. I must have listened about 3 times today, actually. And like I say, this won't appeal to most people, but when you hear a really great pianist perform Schoenberg, the music really comes out and she plays it absolutely amazingly. I mean, it's a blinder, it's a cracker. It's just amazing. I mean, if you're a pianist, you'll really appreciate it because even if you don't like 12 tone or anything that's termed atonal or whatever, or Schoenberg, you can actually hear this because she encapsulates the dynamics, the loud, soft, light and dark, the inflections, the colours and the resonance where it goes from one end to the other, or contrary motion like this at the piano, and then these little intricacies, these little rhythms, these little motifs, all turning the music around and keeping it going along. And you really get taken along with it. You know, it's beautifully played. The amazing thing as well, being Yuja, of course, she can just play it easily. And that sort of effortlessness as well, the way she does it without any effort, you really feel the music. You can really feel that she can sort of playfully sort of bring it out, and she can be aggressive, but she can make the music come alive. Again, it's sort of bringing the music alive. It's making it actually exist. It's playful, it's aggressive, it's quiet, it's loud, it's pinpointed. It's sort of like, oh, it's legato, it's sort of smooth. Oh no, now it's gone. There's all these crashing and waves, and then there's these intricacies and these little inflections and these little colours. You really hear bring the colour out of the piano, and that's something else. When people play the piano, a concert pianist is really, really good at bringing the colours out of the piano, and she does it amazingly well. She's absolutely incredible. So yeah, I've listened to that today. I've been in love with that today. It's been blowing my mind. But like I say, it's not for everybody, and most people probably won't enjoy it. But for me, it was just the best thing I've heard all year so far. Actually, this brings me to my last record, which isn't classical or jazz, but I was reading the biography of this guy not long ago. And this is a guy called Al Stewart, a singer-songwriter who actually grew up in this area where I'm living at the moment, actually. In fact, a whole load of them grew up here and all went to London. But he was the singer-songwriter guy who actually went to London odd enough to be a guitarist, but he ended up being a singer-songwriter. And his songwriting, his lyrics, everything are just like second to none. So when I was reading the biography, I was listening to all of the records, all the early records like Love Chronicles, which is an absolutely fantastic album. But I've included his probably most famous album, which is Year of the Cat, produced by Alan Parsons. And it's a really great production of sort of mid-70s sound. There's some great songs like Lord Grenville, which is a fantastic song, and also On the Border. The big song of this album, though, is The Year of the Cat, which went on to be a massive hit, and hence this album went on to be a multi-million seller. In the book, though, it's interesting because when they actually were going to make this record, they got their first big record deal in America with Clive Davis for £1 million. So they went to the bank to put the money into the bank. And of course, at that time, £1 million for a record deal was like massive. And they were like having like, champagne and everything with the bank manager. And Al Stewart said that was just like an amazing time, But after that, it sort of all went downhill a bit. I mean, he's still successful, but that was his big sort of plateau as a singer-songwriter, pop star, rock star person. But this is just a beautiful album, and it's nice because it really takes you back to that old sort of 70s production where you could hear a bass and some drums and some piano and some orchestra. And obviously it doesn't have the kind of pristine quality or that kind of like big quality, I suppose, that modern production would have, or digital. It's all analog. But I like that because you can hear sort of the kick drum, and things like this. You can hear all the instruments. And you can sort of hear people playing the piano. It's not kind of like, everything's not perfect. It's just, it is perfect. It's well played and everything, but it's like you can hear instruments, people playing instruments. There's something magical because it seems to bring the songs out. You really get into the songs, and the vocal is always on top like that. It's always like, it's not like a compressed like modern vocals where it's sort of nasally. It's like the vocal's big on top of this underneath it, the instruments underneath it. But at the same time, you can hear everything. And a bass sounds like a bass, it doesn't sound like a sample. And an acoustic guitar sounds like strumming, it doesn't sound like a sample. And the orchestration doesn't sound like samples, it sounds like an orchestra. Like they're in a room recording it. And there's something wonderful about that in terms of bringing the composition or the songwriting out and the singing. And that's another album that, because I read the biography, I listened to quite a lot. Although I did listen to a lot of other albums that he's done, especially Love Chronicles, which is like, the song Love Chronicles is like 20 minutes long. And I think it's the first record ever with swearing in it. And also it's interesting because when he was going to release that, obviously he took it to the record company back then, the old record companies, and they were like, how are we going to release this? It's got a swear word in it, We can't have swearing in records. Because that's how it was in the sort of late 60s, So that's something else I've been listening to, completely different than Arnold Schoenberg, but I love all music, so I listen to anything. So anyway, that was my records of the week, this week and last week, because it's sort of 2 weeks of intertwined. I didn't have time to do this last week. So they're my records of the week. Anyway, if you found this video interesting, then please smash the subscribe button, because that really does keep the channel going. Click the like button, because that really helps with the algorithm. Click the notification button if you like the video, and write a comment if you want. And I'll see you all in the next video. And thank you for watching.